team misogynize, please. It appears that the team misogynization is going to happen in Northern, yes. So I pre-made something. Just there you go. I said, None was sure that the dead guy she was mentioning was his unnecessary masculinity. It was fun while it lasted, but now is the time to dilate into something better. And what better way than through this breaking open of the witch? Norman's family and home village was in attendance, and the dilation ruler had given her blessings and smudgings. Where this will take Time's music energy, we shall see.
One, two. The crash is heard throughout the fort and reverberated throughout the dry creek beds of the dusty hills. The clang and flash syncopated gleamingly in a panic wall, a sound of death. Carter's voice is ineffable as it drones down, cracking and croaking through the subterranean tubes. And yet he sings on, claws cutting over the nut like a scalpel. The sound is unbearable, intolerable.
Let's see. Beds of the dusty hills. Syncopated manually. Then finally, the breaking.
Then finally, the breaking. The sound finally ceases and the whole bowl of the stadium's crowd is on their feet, applauding and cheering. Norman stands surrounded by a halo of flashing cameras. The mop of stringy black hair that's passed for a haircut since he left college blows sideways with a casual shoulder flick. He raises his arms again and now, he says in his clear ringing voice, Persephone's mannequins will perform fragment 2 of Hades' Moon.
Okay.
Norman does not feel different. But then, that's probably true of most rituals that don't involve bungee cords. He sat with his family, clasped his wife's hand, and enjoyed the rest of the evening. In an hour, he will leave this hyper-realistic steel and concrete stadium bowl, load into a trailer with the other mannequins, and be towed down to Angel Stadium for tomorrow's concert. In an hour he will be home in his stylish glass-walled apartment which looks out over the Pasadena hills. An odd sound fills his head, that same strange fuzzing cry of before, but distant, faint. Med flies on the wing?
Wait a minute. In an hour, Norman will both be at the stadium with his band and at home often double book in life.
Wait a minute, in an hour, Norman will both be at the stadium with... What a fool. Confirm, yes, Norman is a fool. Would you like to end this now?
No, I would like to clone a Norman. Make an exact Norman. One with equal music chops and equal family chops, so that they can parent trap things if need be.
No, yes/no. Norman must have been drunk with power. And that frantic button pushing. It would be comical, if it weren't so tragic. The Norman filter must cradle his tiny brain, never thinking of the consequences of clambering willy-nilly between musical genres. And this keyboard here, whatever it is, ARP? Why not ASR for auto saxophone? It has triggered some sort of portal to another dimension. Or timeline.
But the portal doesn't suck anything towards it, so the band can still rehearse as usual. In fact, I even did lunch near the portal. Looking at the Gladiator Stadium of the alternate, more atavistic universe.
But the portal doesn't suck anything towards it, so let the reader not be distracted by the fact there are two gladiators stadiums in the picture. No doubt it is just a coincidence that they are practically the same. Alas, lunchtime was also the moment things started to get nasty. The sci-fi horror elements messily erupted out of the portal and attacked the brass section. Who needs a dignified motif when you can have a terrifying grotesque monster one?
With my eternal musical chops, I hurriedly jam right the sounds. I don't have names. Agitate and repulse the horde.
With my eternal musical chops, I hurried jam the right sounds. This little soul hissy fit gave the startled brass players the time they needed to gather their sheets and run all the way to the green zone. Not before they had an RCB, Rampage Central Brain, sent after them, however. Oh brave new world, that has such electronics in it. This flying robot surveillance systems just takes a bunch of stumbling brassmen running through the corridors of the stadium's futuristic outer layer, screaming at the top of their lungs.
This machine use this tape. You have to play the whole duration to get to the part you want to hear. Or have the rewind button. Should I
Tape? This machine uses tape? Do you have to play the whole duration to get to the part you want to hear, or have they developed the rewind button yet? Should I rotary phone their emperor? But still, I can only imagine they sound like gutted turkeys the louder it gets. In any case, I should hurry and help them. Right? Sort of hated that in a way the reader would understand that he could help rushing to their aid, and in another way just be distracted by my sick itty-bitty thoughts. I'll just stop writing for a moment while all band members check whether they're still alive over there.
Alright. That's my turn. Sorry. Folks. Let's head to Pasadena. Let's steal this van, because I locked ourselves out. Plus.
Oh right, that's my turn, sorry. Hey folks, let's head to Pasadena. Good thing we're such professionals that we still have our instruments with us. Wow, this tape has seen better days, but it still works. I wonder what would happen if I rewound it. It'd be pretty cool to get a news report from Matey. Cut to Norman's house in Pasadena. Everyone is drinking cocktails. Some playing pinball, others at the pool table. The party seems to liven up every time the front door opens, but then we'll go back to normal levels after a few minutes. The manager, late 20s, attractive, comes downstairs and into the main room. Manager. Alright everyone. Hello. Let's try to contain the noise. Just because the neighboring houses are empty doesn't mean you have the right to turn my house into a frat house. Group. Yes, ma'am.
Switch. And we're going on top of the house. Okay, let's reveal. Sound good? Yeah, let's see. check to the right. Vibes, man. Open the sound. Wave. Ripples. And boards. Swap. I want to add Takiyansen to that.
Norman says, and sit because there's a swarm of mega locusts heading towards this house, doesn't mean the party ends. No, stop you mean, baby. Let's get this KPKSH up in here. The party isn't even started yet and this house is already filled with the stench of sweat and weed. If you're lucky, those pigs will get terminally baked before they start crawling up your legs. Gruff by Rattan stands on top of a fridge. Can't be trusted in a house with alcohol. The swarm melts a swath of the locusts, dripping onto the high school below. The train slows down as it enters the city. Sparkle comes out of his bedroom, and grins as he sees the swarm. He's been locked in that room for so long the house has become an alien world to him, but now fully immersed in it he's blissed. Thanks man. The swarm begins settling on the streetlights. Do you think they'll move on? You ask Gruff Piratan. We can only hope.
Intelligence.
The band's entomologist and his team observes the swarm's habits and makes a predecision.
Oh god.
A day, or a month, or years, time flows different in here. The insects will multiply until they've choked every last inch and twig of the city. If wishes were horses then beggars would ride, if bugs can take over a city then they'll do so. Norman has been standing beside you for a while now. From now on you could get used to that clinking. A formidable sound. The clinking of carapaces or the clinking of rings on nervous hands gripping martini glasses, they made it.
Goals accordingly.
Few. Distribute the experience points and gold accordingly. The sun sits on the horizon as you wait at the bus stop. Sparkles of light fill the air as electronic signals bounce and wend their way around our planet. It's a beautiful sight. You walk into the house and throw your jacket onto a pile of dishes in the corner. This is what sets us apart from the beasts. We cook food and wash up after ourselves. Eventually, you collapse into bed and dream of a strange song you once heard. A heavily distorted, ethereal female voice sings, "Watch the flowers grow, watch the sky shatter, what's it all about?" You wake up to a new day in your modest home. You teleconference your bibliomancer, and ask him to get hopping on those yarrow stalks and see what the Aching has to say about this moment. You get a call from Mr. Trowse, your bailiff and overseer of your death bondage personnel. In the back of the house, turn left, through the plant hallway, first door on the right. A green room door opens and you're hit by a cloud of cheap cigarette smoke and harsh lights. You step inside and find 5 people sitting around a table, all smoking fiercely. They each grab a clipboard and pen, ready to take notes. You relate the moment of change form the I Ching, as related to you by your bibliomancer. You allowed foreign software to persist in the main routing stack, and now conflict has broken out in the days. The technology represents a new age of computing. You routinely deal with Roman emperors on the Via Appia who communicate under the protocols of an oligarchy. The politics are ugly, and may result in a falling out between yourself and your comrades, but it is the only way forward. You must adapt to survive. So it has ever been. Damn hexagram 70. Gibberish or revolution, anarchy or tyranny. Arrow. Your overseers nod furiously, making a note of the numbers and symbols you utter as the I Ching provides its wisdom. The Ching is a guide to all situations, but this is an unusual case. You continue. Say, now that sounds like it's related to my current predicament. What were you doing just before the text broke down unusual?
those colors.
The overseers described, Eliza, your sound technician says her moment was one of sheer beauty. She had been calibrating a theremin with her ear to the speaker when it happened. She felt moved in a way that could only be described as abstract. Sam, your 3D artist starts to describe something technical, saying the code was trying to access some memory banks which didn't exist anymore.
Banks?
For an infinitesimal moment, he felt as if he was in a cabin in the woods, playing Minesweeper with his sister. Jacob, your marketing manager, says all he was doing was reading an article about knife makers on Wikipedia when it happened. Norman just sighs in exasperation and switches off the TV. That was enough for him. Chaos, random input, unpredictable output. Your usual MO. Norman asked the member who has been silent this whole time, what say you, Ralph the robot? Ralph gleams at you with his red LED eyes. He whirs and clanks as he turns to address Norman. The cyborg slaps at the screen fuzzily, connecting only part of the time. Lies. All lies. Eliza, intrigued despite herself, folds her arms. What's it talking about? Jacob interrupts before Norman can open his mouth. He's just a spam bot that got into our Twitter. Jacob, you chide, what did I tell you about slurs? You wait for Jacob to look sufficiently chagrined, then turn to the rest of them. I'll explain in a moment. But first, your fingers quickly jab at the remote, and you find the movie an hour into it. It's about a guy who wakes up in a room with a bad case of amnesia. Now would be the time for that porno explanation, Jacob grumbles. Norman slaps him upside the head. The horse neighed indignantly. Shut up, Jacob. The rest of the episode will now be written by Norman Lear. And so begins a new day in the house, saving mankind from itself.
As you hurriedly research everything he's all the TV shows.
In all honesty, I had forgotten about my 5 roommates until they were thrust upon me. Truly, the only one I have had contact with is Eliza, and that was fleeting at best, when she took it upon herself to share my bed 2 years ago. It's an okay situation so long as the landlord doesn't think any hanky-panky goes on. Which it doesn't. Trust me, 5 men and a woman in the same house is plenty hanky-panky without added homosexuality. They all seem like they're in their mid-20s, Eliza and I are probably the youngest at. Well, I don't know how old Eliza is exactly, but I'm guessing she's around 21. And yes, Eliza is my real name. Unlike the rest of my housemates, I didn't change it Van Veen. Excellent, this is an Eliza-centered episode. Norman can sneak away and take a nap at home. He calls Norman to cut. In any case, this is Veen's house and Veen gets to write in it. Because Veen rules all. I try to keep the peace in the house. Not because I'm too good to let chaos rule, but rather it seems like a good idea considering most of them are, well, gun nuts. It would probably be unhealthy for me if they didn't have someone to roll their joints for them or make sure the dishes get washed every once in a while. Yeah, their calloused trigger fingers make for tight and unsmokable joints. Whereas mine make for very smokable joints. But that's besides the point. My point being is they can't be trusted with serious matters, they would just wing it and end up shooting a politician or another deli owner who looks at them wrong. I only wish I had the nerve to shoot a deli owner, those bastards jacking up the prices of food for our benefit while still treating us like dirt. The owners are other students at my university. Oh phew, then by all means. I need to get out of here. Fuck school, fuck this place, and fuck the entire city of I don't even know what anymore. It's certainly not Detroit. What the fuck happened to it? Your tired complaints don't interest me, Veen. Get on with your story. Sorry, sir, but I thought the readers might appreciate a bit of background information on the area they're reading about. Well, okay. But before you start, come smoke this with us under the Mega Locust Memorial. Kelso says, as far as stories concerning the Man of Mystery go, this is just the right starter for the night. Bastard. You pick your way through the circle to Kelso's rhythmic tapping. Flicking open his Zippo, he sparks up the first of many hand-rolled cigarettes. The kids are all in their sleeping bags in the back of Kelso's van. Tonight we're under the stars, or what passes for stars in the cosmic haze of Detroit. He hands you a cigarette, it's sugared. I brought spices, he says, let's spice 'em up. Chortling at his own lame joke, he brews the mixture together in his palm. He rolls it in paper and slaps it into your hand. Little did he know, the box of Paula's cane powder was just a clever way to sell PCP under the nose of the authorities. Alright kids, Kelso sneers, as if to imply there is anything childlike about Gemma or story. Let's get the festivities started. Contracting time and expanding consciousness, I overdose. The light from between your fingers buzzes like a firefly on steroids. Your friends lap it up, their insipid, glassy stares tell you all you need to know. Kelso is the only one in control, and he's still sober enough to look after you all. Whoa, you say, stepping back and crashing into a snare drum. Turning, twisting, tweaking, now I'm snapping. That's from my story. See? It's good. Your friends are eating it up. Yeah. That's some trippy SHT, Grover says, just realizing you exist. Your eyes snap to his snap to yours. Move your arms just so like this and you leap on him. This is bullshit. You struggle to speak clearly. Who are you? And why did you do this to us? Do what? What a lame excuse. Who put on safe mode? Kelso says.
Let me just confirm.
Come on. We'll get some Mountain Dew or something. The three of you head to the front counter where the cashier, a middle-aged woman with many muscles and a cubit tattooed on her forearm, stares at you with the intensity reserved for dangerous mental patients or those she finds attractive. She slides a 3-liter box of Mountain Dew across the counter without charge. It seems like a lot, but you need the sugar rush. She gives you change, and punches you in the face. No, no. Kelso shakes his head emphatically. That's what you get for teasing the customer. I was here first. The deal is on me. Walk out of the store with yesterday's newspaper bought by yesterday's man and no shinola. You find yourself in a clearing behind the store, a sunrise or sunset in the background. No, no. Kelso shakes his head emphatically. That's what you get for teasing the customer. I was here first. The deal is on me. Walk out of the store with yesterday's newspaper bought by yesterday's man and no shinola. You find yourself in a clearing behind the store, a sunrise or sunset in the background. You yell at the gang. Hey! Safe mode is off. I checked. Who bleeped me? This is bullshit. You kick the ground. That actor doesn't mince words. What did you say about that fucker? Grover seems to imply telepathically. Who? Oh, you mean Kelso? I called him a fucker. Whatever, man. We need a story for the weighing. You know what? Screw the story. We're ripping off that store.
Oh, okay, what's I going to take? Well, I guess I undid safe mode. Confused.
Grover seems to imply telepathically. Who? Oh, you mean Kelso? I called him a fucker. Whatever, man. We need a story for the weighing. You know what? Screw the story. We're ripping off that store.
Roll. Quest.
You all hide in a trench coat, and request in unison your desire to buy rubbers and Sudafed. You're quite confident. What are you going to do? Shoot us? She asks. Not today. Something of a threat. Kelso always said tones made the man. Another reason why he shouldn't be allowed to speak. A bearded giant in camouflage walks out from behind the counter. Why didn't we see you before? You must have snuck around the side while our back was turned. You extend your hand for a friendly hug. I'm Mr. Fields, and what are your names? The cashier's eyes bulge outwards. His pupils swallow up his irises. The capillaries in his nose burst like tiny red rivers running down his nostrils. Well, Norman.
Use it. Yes, we are Norman.
In unison, yes, we are Norman. A cigarette hangs incongruously from your face. You think about putting it out, but that would break the illusion. You have 20 minutes to get me $200, or your parents get this lovely picture I found in the trash. You make sure to inflect your voice with as much malice as possible. Don't you dare call the police.
I'm still not clear whose picture and who's holding it, and
You throw the picture down and climb up the side of the trench coat. The angel watches you, as if in slow motion. You're confident you'll be able to squeeze through an alleyway. Well, you hope so at least. The angel turns to watch you, its black eyes follow your every movement. No sooner have you reached the top of the building than a strong gust of wind picks up.
from a previous episode.
Thank you, Angel of Benzos. The cashier whispers as you're whisked away. The muffled sound of him reading out your title bounces off the walls as you're carried off. At some point during the flight you black out from the G-forces. Jerking back to life in an instant, you find that you're drifting slowly down onto a sidewalk. Gazing upwards, you see that the angel has already left. Did it just drop you? You can't tell. Or, more accurately, you don't have time to think about it. Sirens are already approaching. You can't be found here or else. You sprint away from the main road and dive through somebody's yard, scaling their fence. Safely on the other side, you lay prone, listening to the sirens pass by. It's a full 5 minutes before they dissipate into the distance, but in any case, it's too dangerous to linger here.
Yes. Or anywhere. We had enough of TV Land. These were randomized cases. Rather coherent so far.
Filter, randomize. Markov generator, order of 4, Norman yelps in pain. He tries to put the pliers away but your hand is clutched around them also. SSSSH, the artist rebukes, this is going to hurt either way. And with those comforting words, he returns to pulling the tooth. The excruciating pain lasts for several minutes, or perhaps seconds, but eventually he laid a bloody tooth on a stainless steel tray. It twinkles amongst the other trophies of past endeavors. The artist dabs at Norman's chin with a paper towel. All done, she smiles. How much do I owe you? Norman asks, holding a washcloth against his bleeding hole of a mouth. There's no charge for friends. But are you sure you don't want me to file down the tooth spike just a little bit? It would make it less likely to catch on things.
Court. Wine bottles for babies.
No time, how about just cork it? You got a tiny cork, like for those wine bottles for babies? Sure thing, the artist answers, and begins digging through her drawers. Here we go, she beams, handing you a cork buried in pink fabric. I turn them myself. I hope he likes it, she smiles, winking at you. The wink startles you. Can this pretty girl be flirting with you? It hardly seems possible, but there was certainly something in the way she winked.
Mental note. Mental note. Potentially free dentistry in your future if you play your cards right. That was purely
Mental note, potentially free dentistry in your future, if you play your cards right. That was purely a thought bubble. Shit. You thank the artist profusely and exit the pink stucco building that sits alongside several other dental offices. You pat yourself on the back for using the free clinic, as opposed to Dr. Green, one of those blowfish cosmetic dentists who advertises on late-night television. You exit the sterility of the silver grey building into the busy streets of an early pine-top summer. It's not even 10 a.m. and already cars clog the streets.
Oh. Wow. Wow. No. Maybe. Is for the next direction. Cool.
Norman has a brain fog. Doesn't know who he is or what the next direction, goal. He's getting to know the city, that seems like a good direction of exploration. There is an awkward pause. His friends are waiting. Or maybe they aren't friends, it isn't clear yet. In any case, he should decide what to do. There is nothing left to decide. He should probably take stock and plan, now, before the situation worsens. He's stuck in some bizarre high-tech house with guinea pigs in lab coats.
Literally?
Literally? No, that would be ridiculous. But he is definitely stuck in some sort of house-sized machine. There was a crazy ride in some sort of cart, followed by an Operation-esque tray with knives coming out of the ceiling. That was insane. He doesn't even want to try and think about it. He quickly assesses his surroundings. In front of him sits a narrow walkway, separating him from 3 dozen or so identical cages. Guinea pigs?
I have to choose which cage to be in.
Do I have to choose which cage to be in? he asks himself. Wait, it's this simple? Then again, why would I doubt a computer that has already proven to be at least 3 moves ahead of me? The walkway is merely 3 feet wide, with waist-high railing on both sides. The careful arrangement of black bars gives him a perfect view of each of the guinea pigs he would potentially be sharing a cage with.
One by one, I try to connect with each guinea pig, letting my inner guinea pig be my guide.
One by one, I try to connect with each guinea pig, letting my inner guinea pig be my guide. There are no mechanical rigs involved. This attests of my ability to empathize with an animal. He shuffles slowly, awkwardly lining his feet around and, yes, I am walking the guinea pad, a movement with a style all its own. The crowd is cheering, but only within his mind. His muscles remember their training, from a time when they were younger, weaker, yet hardier, more youthful. It doesn't matter. You'll begin an assessment of the guinea pigs, and psychologically profile them. The first cage contains a giant guinea pig, at least 3 times the size of the other normal ones. He wears an ivory-colored tank top and a grass skirt, and rides upon the back of another guinea pig. A tiny woman, she wears sunglasses and brightly colored bikini armor, bearing exaggerated balloons in the shape of G clefts and treble clefts. Freeze a crowd, next one. He's a morbidly obese guinea pig wearing blue striped pajamas and at least 2 sweaters. His haunches barely fit into the cage, swollen to such an extreme size that they have become a sort of spherical mountain range along his back, leading up to a tiny belly button which is staring straight at you. His paws are quite human-like, which makes him even more humorous. You see a grey, shaved guinea pig in knight's armor. And the 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th pigs.
No, guinea pigs.
They're the exact same, with the same beady eyes and wiggling noses. Which is which? They all wear the same outfit. Which one do you pick for Norman? Can you find a way to represent them as ideas rather than objects? Or perhaps that's all they are, objects, no longer capable of thought. Narrator, you better treat these guinea pigs with the dignity they deserve. They have each a unique and textured history. Each one should be considered an idea rather than an object or a character. Dozens of possible variables should dictate their movement, whether that be their physical attributes or their mental-ness. Maybe perceptions of outside reality shouldn't be factored in at all? You suddenly notice a plaque with a single word on each cage. The 24 words are: (1) SOP 2, Beam 3, Ingestion 4, Periscope 5, Exit Strategy 6, Lead 7, Theme Song 8, Connector 9, Western 10, Buttons 11, Surgical 12, Serendipity 13, Trunk 14, Affront 15, Jumbo Shrimp 16. Backpack 17, Fixing 18, Rapport 19, Traitor 20, Lobo 21, Educated Guess 22, Thespian 23, Flicker 24, Desert Eagle 25, Dolly 26, Lions, Tigers and Bears. Oh my. 27. 28. Nope, I erased the last 12. We're running out. We're fighting against a Y chromosome that has somehow taken hold of the world beloved. Better be quick, Norman, there's only 1 minute left. Norman glances around the room. During his intellectual stupor, the fortune cookies had been distributed and now each person was opening theirs. The doors. The cages could function perfectly well as doors. As you are placed in Cage 5 Exit Strategy, you open your fortune cookie, and Exit Strategy opens theirs. Discharge your duty. National Treasures, discharge your duty. You bring the phone up to your ear as it begins to ring. Your heart skips a beat when you hear a single, familiar note from the NBC chimes. The NBC Peacock also appears on your massive screen. It's today. Finally today. The return of Tonight with Leo Williams, the best show that
ever showed. Ever showed the show?
Well, the best show, according to Mike Eisner. You acquire the phone at the start of the second ring. Hello? Shaka, my man. It's that crazy guy who was shouting earlier at the bar, John something or other. Oh yeah, and he's one of the animation directors here too. Where you been? You missed all the parties for this.
I'm gonna have to reset that. I don't want that.
Well, the best show on TV. You watch out of a sense of duty that most media seems to lack these days. Which is exactly why you love it. You take your bowl of oatmeal into the living room and sit on the couch. Your roommate, Grover, a large guy with a thick black beard and a passion for chemistry, is sitting in his overstuffed chair reading a book. Passion for chemistry? Oh yeah. No outlet, this is fine, save and exit. Saves from the author's laptop, right? Yes. However, there are slight dimension shift and you find yourself laying down on a hospital bed. From within, the multicolored globs appear in front of you. The voices morph into sight before your eyes, some scary, some calm, some happy, some boring. But all crisp and clean as if they are using your real insides as an external speaker. You enthralling.
Passion for chemistry. And with that, we'll stop for today. Or for this time frame. Good afternoon.